What is up, everyone? I am Chris Knight, and you are watching Chaos Central's The Rule of Three here on a Sunday, as always, 2 o'clock Central Standard Time, 3 p.m. for The Rule of Three on Eastern. Then people like Dandelion Fluff, who are out in the Pacific time zone, I believe it's 12 noon, whatever. Yeah. Okay.
That's
it. But with me today, I have Danny Graham of Comic Chat, as always, and then we got Lucky, and we got Mr. Ords Bored.
Hello.
Hello. So let's do this real quick. Let's go through this. Ords, I'm going to let you tell everybody about yourself, where you can be found, and all that fun stuff.
Well, you guys can find me at youtube.com/Ords Bored. You can also find me at Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at the same handle. You guys can also find my work over at Omni Lucid Media Games. If you like Vikings, if you like board games, go check out Omni Lucid Media Games on YouTube as well. And you can find me on the Drunk 3PO channel from time to time. So come check me out, guys. If you're bored, I am too. I need some company.
I'm already sad because of I'm sorry. Yeah, guys, go check out Ords. Great content over there. Sometimes I have to pilfer to what he talks about because he finds it before I do. And I'm like, oh, wait, I want to talk about that.
Everybody finds it before me, too. So it's all good.
Like, you found out the thing about Tony Hawk. And I'm like, holy crap. I didn't even hear anything about it. Normally, something like that I would have been on like that with, but that was cool. Let's go down to Danny. Danny, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself, your channel, all that fun stuff.
I am Danny Graham. This is you can find me on YouTube on Comic Chats every Monday night from at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have one of the shows on the Chaotic Central Network. It's called Chaotic Conversation. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be doing 3 main event fights. This person versus this person.
Mm-hmm.
Who do we think would win? I got to come up with 3. I got 1 already. The other 2, I'm going to really dig deep. Also, later this afternoon, you can find me on my other show, which is called Equilibrium, with me, Jason, and Terrence. We have a special guest today, and he wants to discuss Black Panther. So I'm just sitting back, waiting to unleash Mr.
Don't
Terrence.
forget your popcorn.
But if you're not doing anything this afternoon, it's usually a 3-hour show. I know it's a long time, but you can pop in, pop out. Catch us at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Equilibrium. It's usually a good time and a very stimulating and interesting conversation. So thanks.
Yeah. So guys, check out these 2 wonderful people here. Make sure you go to their channel, subscribe if you aren't already. And like I said, I'm really glad we got you, Ords. I like having you on streams and stuff. And I know you're busy, but I really appreciate you being here today.
Yeah, man. You caught me at the right time. So thanks.
That's awesome.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so let's look at the chat really quick. I see we got It's a Trap Productions. Alex, how you doing? We got Steve Kenobi. We got Gaming or What? We got Dandelion Fluff. We got Thomas, the Gilk Man. Very much. I appreciate all you guys very much for showing up today. Please do me a favor. Hit that like button. Smash that like button. Destroy the like button. Or also tweet us out. I put a tweet out if you're a part of my Twitter group. Go ahead and tweet that out. And just let people know that we're on right now. So, guys, this is really simple. Ords, I don't know if you've been on this show with us before, but it's much like the Weekly Rumble. Basically, what we do is we have a wheel of topics, and I will share that wheel of topics right now. Right there it is, the wheel of topics. But Ords, the really good thing about this is there's no 5-minute time. There's just 3 minutes you get to talk about it, and you don't even have to use the full 3 minutes if you don't want to. It's like
nice. How do I win this whole shebang?
You don't. We just talk. That's all this one is. Sorry.
Okay.
There's no winning. Actually, you're the winner because you're the guest. So yes, you win.
Ah, sweet.
Automatically. It's like that.
Sorry, Danny. Sorry, bro.
It's like the Weekly Rumble with no steroids.
Exactly.
Oh man, no drug use. I don't know about that.
Well, anyway. not steroids drug use. So,
okay.
And depending on your local jurisdiction,
let's do this.
All right. So we're gonna spin this wheel first off and see what our first topic is. And Ords, you will be the first person that gets to talk.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Name one movie you would be able to watch over and over again without losing your love of it? Name one movie you would be able to watch over and 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 over again without losing your love of it.
That's a difficult one.
Yeah. So 3 minutes is on the board. Your time starts now.
Here's the thing. It's really kind of a toss-up, maybe between like 2 or 3 different movies. I think if anybody knows me, they know maybe one of them. That's so hard. Okay, I'm gonna have to go ahead and say probably the Muppet movie, the original Muppet movie.
Nice.
It's just so fun. There's so much in there. Like, I love the whole Electric Mayhem breaking the fourth wall where they're reading the script there after they first meet. They got basically the whole movie in their hand, but yet like the plans that they put in place don't actually work well.
Mm-hmm.
It's just there's a lot to offer in that movie. But then you have the toss up though. With like this is a weird one, and this is one that is more of a nostalgia thing with friends. Is School of Rock. I remember when that was like, to me, that was one of Jack Black's last good movies. Thank you, Fuel. Thank you so much, brother. We had to play video games together. Anyway, so it was just one of those things. Everybody good? Yeah. Hey, okay. Anyway, yeah, we watched. I remember when the movie hit, we literally watched it over and 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 over. It was just so fun. So it's really a toss up between those two. But the Muppet movie, it's just so many redeeming things in that movie. A great storyline. There's great humor. It's my favorite characters. There's a whole host of different characters. You have different textures throughout the movie. And I mean, who doesn't love the old Muppet Show, man? I mean, come on. You know, like, exactly. It's so, right. And like, here's the thing: there's so many memorable moments from that movie too. Like the joke where it's like, make a left at the fork in the road, and then like as they pull up to a literal fork in the road. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just so fun. It's playful. I mean, you have got Animal who takes one of those grow giant pills, and you got a giant animal on a rampage. It's it's fun, adventure, excitement, heartbreak, romance. It's and arguably one of the best relationships in Hollywood. Kermit and Miss Piggy, right?
Yes.
I mean, not only did they get married at one point in well, I don't know if it was actually married. They did the show in Muppets Take Manhattan.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Yeah, but is it an actual wedding or is it?
So. Yeah, I think so. And go ahead.
No, I was just saying, man. Like that's probably the movie, man. I love Gonzo.
Yeah, Danny thinks we're nuts.
That's okay, Danny. I'm a huge Jim Henson fan, man. I love Jim Henson. The Dark Crystal's obviously in the top 3.
That ain't even in my top 1,000.
Oh, stop.
No,
Danny.
That's cool, man. That's cool. I love it, man. I love this stuff.
I actually admit to the fact that and more so now that Jim Henson's dead because of what they did at his funeral with all the Muppets. But I remember the end scene of Muppets Take Manhattan and all of those Muppets there. And you got to think this is a guy, Jim Henson, that came up with all these different. And think about it. He has Muppets or these characters that are made for children, some that are made for teenagers, some that are meant for adults. I mean, it's like
I like the 2 old men on there. They're funny.
Yeah. They are. Oh.
Yeah, Stafford and Waldorf.
Why do we always come here?
I guess we'll never know.
It's kind of like some torture
to have to watch the show. Yeah, no, I love. Yeah, those guys are great.
What's the one with the gold tooth in his mouth? He's funny.
Doctor.
Yeah, Dr. Teeth.
Yeah.
Dubious dudes. Yeah. No, yeah, I love
woman.
There's just so many great characters.
Wait. Ords.
See, exactly. You totally forgot you were wearing that, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I was like, wait a minute, I'm wearing my
exactly. No, that's the thing. There's even if you're not a fan of the Muppets, there's characters that you can like and identify with. I mean, they're all great characters, man.
Yeah. All right, Danny, 3 minutes on the board. One movie that you could watch over and over again without getting tired of.
I'm going to go to the other end of the spectrum. But I can watch Shawshank Redemption over and over and over and over. I don't care when it comes on. I'm in there. I'm with Andy and Red and the rest of the guys. I just think Stephen King, that was his best movie he's ever made to me. That wasn't horror related. I probably will go back and start when it plays. I can almost do the lines in some parts automatic. From the warden who was such an ass, and his head guard. I can't think of his name. I know his last name is Brown. I can't think of his first name, but he played in the movie with when the humans fought the aliens. What's the name of that movie? I can't think. The bugs. You know when the humans fought the bugs.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
he was the Julian Schuttner.
Oh yeah.
Casper Van Dien starred in it.
Yeah, geez. Starship Troopers.
Yeah, Starship Troopers. But I just love that movie. It's one of my all-time favorites. I like the way they develop friendships in an unlikely time, especially coming from two different worlds. I like the way that Red and him was able to get together in the end. All the trials and stuff he went through, and the point where they were messing with him, the Aryan brothers, and then they did do good things to try to help him, but they only did it for their benefit because eventually he's able to clean all their money and hide all their crookedness. But to me, that's just a movie that always resonated with me. Whenever I see it, it's always one. And this is another guilty pleasure one. My daughter just told me yesterday, she said, we watched this movie again. But y'all remember a movie called The American President?
Yes. I love that movie.
It was Michael Douglas.
Yeah, that was good.
Yes.
And Annette Bening. I love that movie too. So I can watch that over and over.
It was done very well.
Yeah. Not nothing exciting stuff, but those are just movies. Some movies that you wouldn't think if you look at me, I'm like, damn, I don't think you would like that, but I love it. Also, there was one more with Harrison Ford and God, I can't think of it. He was like a cranky old news reporter, and this young girl came.
Sabrina?
Nah.
That's different. No,
she resurrected the TV station they were at. I can't think of the name of it.
Oh, yeah.
It was an awesome movie. I like that kind of stuff. So, my number one would be Shawshank, is basically what I'm saying. Shawshank Redemption.
Okay, cool. Let's see here. 3 minutes.
That was one of the movies that was always on TV, but you never turned off. Once you like back in the day, it was like, okay, there was like Mrs. Doubtfire, movies like that they played like on repeat every week, probably once a day somewhere. But whenever you caught yourself watching that movie, you couldn't turn away from that movie. That was a great movie.
That and Green Mile. Green Mile was another.
Yeah. All right, so let's see here. On my part of it, I would go with something Muppets, Labyrinth, anything like that.
I never seen that but once. I can't believe that.
What, Labyrinth?
Yeah,
I would go with that, but I'm going to let Ords have the Muppets thing because I literally have probably about I don't know. I probably have over 10,000 movies around here, and of the ones that I have on physical media, and even those that I don't, I'm the type of person that will hit play and repeat during a day on one movie, Back to the Future, Ocean's 11, any one of a number of Bond films. But I will go with Ocean's 11 right now. Ocean's 11, the remake, is just sheerly a brilliant movie because if you've ever seen the original one with the Rat Pack in it, which I'm a huge Rat Pack fan, it's okay. It's not the best thing, but it has the Rat Pack in it, so I love the movie. But it doesn't have nearly the plot detail that the new one does. I won't give it away what happens, but they're also two completely separate movies because one ends completely different than the other. So when they got a hold of the movie and they were going to remake it, they did everything they could not to reference the original one outside of being in Las Vegas. They used similar names on some of them, and just the fact that they took so much time to honor the original, but not reference the original. It's amazing the amount of detail they put into it. One scene, if you've ever seen the movie, they're behind this nightclub in LA. And if you listen to the director's commentary, which I love to do, you hear they say that as they shot that, they shot it towards the Capitol Records building. But if they had shot it the other way around, which they thought about doing, it had a mural of the Rat Pack there. Therefore, they went to a specific way of shooting it to make sure they didn't show the Rat Pack. Yet, if they had done that, nobody would have faulted them for.
I thought it would have been. It probably been better if they would have shown them.
Well, but he even said, I didn't want people to think that I was overtly trying to use the original movie as a vehicle for this movie. And so I think his direct want to honor that movie without having to show anything from that movie was really interesting. And it's also, in my opinion, one of the top remakes of all time. Which is a rarity these days, but I mean, yeah, that was 20 years ago, 20 some plus years ago. But yeah, I can watch that time and time and time and time again. But then again, I got thousands of movies I can do that too. So, well, you know. Let's talk about this for about 3 minutes. What makes
I got another one too.
Yeah.
Thomas Crown Affair. I love that movie.
Okay, yeah, that's a pretty good movie. What makes a movie watchable like that?
You gotta like a good cast and a good story, and it gotta grab you.
Okay.
I've seen the one with Steve McQueen. I don't really care for the bank robbery. I like more of the art painting, better with Pierce Brosnan. So that's probably my 1A. Thomas Crown Affair 1A, and 1 would be Shawshank Redemption.
Mm-hmm. Ords, what do you think makes movies like that rewatchable?
More specifically, like with like Shawshank and things like that.
No, just any movie that you like.
Oh.
I mean, so you know, Danny says cast, good writing, things like that. I mean, but do you think, because you and I are big Muppet fans, isn't it to you sometimes? Isn't that part of the? It's like just what it means to you. You know, like what it meant to you growing up, your upbringing, things like that. Is that part of it too, you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, not really, because here's the thing. Like, I'm not ashamed to admit it. When I was a very young kid, I was actually terrified of Muppets.
Oh.
It was a thing that was like,
I was terrified of the Dark Crystal.
Well, right. That's what set the tone for sure. Yeah. But no, I used to be terrified of puppets when I was a really little kid. Mm-hmm. I remember it because I remember like being at my grandma's house watching this old Kermit video. Mm-hmm. It had him and Robin, and I remember like watching it by myself late at night at my grandma's house and being scared because I'm like, what is this thing? How does it move? What is it? You know, what is it? It's a living thing, you know, like what the hell? But you know, as I got older, it really intrigued me just to see how it all worked. And like, as a young kid believing it did make an impact on me. But as far as what makes a movie rewatchable is not necessarily like that, but that's the ingenuity is part of it. But like Danny was saying, of course, it's got to have good writing, but and the good actors. But I think what it comes down to is everybody has to be in sync. I mean, you know as well as I do, guys, as content creators, there's some days you're just not feeling it, and if it's, you know what I'm saying, if it's not in sync, if you're not feeling in sync with what you're trying to do, it's probably better off that you just put it off, even if you might sacrifice views for it, just for good content, you know. Same with Sonic the Hedgehog. You know, they listen to people, and again, this isn't about the fans winning, but this is about taking the time to create something good. And if everybody's on the same page, and that's the difficult thing about it is there's so much diversity in the world that when you have a good movie come together and everybody's in sequence, that's what makes it a beautiful thing. Yeah, is that it's a large group of people who found a way to be on the same wavelength and make it good and make it happen.
I think that's the big thing right there. When you got this group of people in a cast, and it doesn't even have to be the best actors,
right?
Because I think Ocean's 11 is one of the best examples that most people would say that movie would have been doomed to fail because of how many great actors or actresses they had in that. And yet they each focused on their part and how that part played in whole to everybody else. And it became this great ensemble cast. And I think Shawshank is like that too. You got this great. Go ahead.
I think two main things you do. If you're familiar with the property, then that's going to get your attention.
Yeah.
And then the first thing we all ask is, okay, it's new Batman. Who's going to play it? So the actor also brings something to the table too, as far as excitement or for your curiosity. Because we often say, I know we all say that I did. I first heard Ben Affleck as Batman. I was like, oh man, he ain't. But he killed it. So a lot of times, those are the first two questions we ask. Yep. What's that about, and who's playing it? So if you can get positive checks on that, I think it's going to bring more people to watch your material.
Now you jinxed the wheel there, Danny, by mentioning Batman. Here's the next question, guys. If it's true that Robert Pattinson isn't working out to bulk up, would that possibly lead to Batman failing? I mean, just a question. So 3 minutes is on the board. Danny, we'll start with you. 3 minutes. Go ahead.
I did a stream on this recently about what is Robert Pattinson thinking. And if I'm hearing that he's trolling, that he's just saying it to try to get people feeling some kind of way, I hope that's the case. But if he's not, and he does not put in the work to look like Batman, then I'm going to be disappointed. I'm not saying I'm not going to still go see it, but if I go there and I see a skinny Batman, I'm like, oh, this ain't looking right. And people say in the past, well, Adam West wasn't muscular, and what's the other guy? Michael Keaton wasn't. They weren't. I can't sit here and deny that. But back then, we wasn't looking so much for that because all we had as a Batman figure was Adam West. So, far as physiques go, to me, Michael Keaton was a step up. Val Kilmer was a step up from Michael Keaton. George Clooney and Val Kilmer, about such and such. But when the bar started getting set was when Christian Bale went there. He put in the work. Then it set the bar even higher when Ben Affleck got there. And he looked like the Batman that I'm accustomed to seeing on animation, that I'm accustomed to seeing in the comic books, I'm accustomed to seeing him on the TV shows. So that's the look I want to go for. I ain't saying he got to look like a baby Hulk, but he need to put on a little bit of muscle. Case in point, Taylor Lautner was slated for Twilight, and in one of those movies, the director told him, said, look, Jacob has to look a certain way. If you don't do the work and put on the weight, you're not going to have the part. So Taylor Lautner, he started eating protein, working out between shoots, and lo and behold, when I think it was New Moon or which one, he looked like.
New Moon was the first one where he started taking his shirt off every 5 seconds. Yeah.
Well, and whenever he started taking his shirt off, he looked the part. So Robert Pattinson, nobody held a gun to your head and tell you to take one of the most iconic superhero parts. If you don't want to do the work, put in the work that's going to take the look the part, you should never have signed the contract. You should give those people their money back if they already give you some kind of advance and say, I'm sorry, I can't do it. Because I don't want to go there and see a scrawny ass Batman. I'm going to be teed off. I'm going to be disappointed. He's going to mess up that character. So I hope, I pray, fingers crossed, toes crossed, that he's just blowing smoke and just trying to push people buttons to get a rise out of them. And I hope that during this crisis we're in now, that he is eating what he's supposed to eat. If you need help, all you got to do is call The Rock. The Rock can show you how to put on and take off. I've heard several different movie stars, they need help on how to look a certain way or gain muscle, that kind of stuff. That's the first person they call. So he need to make that call.
Yeah, okay. Great. Ords, you ready? He's hiding.
Yes, I'm ready.
You're ready.
What's up, drunk? I see you, bro. I was gonna hit you back up in the chat, but I'll just say now. What's up? I'm ready. Batman failing. Gotcha. Workout. Let's do this shit.
3 minutes on the board. Here you go.
Okay. Well, kind of to expand upon what Danny was saying. Here's the thing: these celebrities are making how much money? This is not supposed to be an easy job. If you're making the kind of money that you're making as a celebrity, and all you're being asked to do is eat lots of food and work out. I mean, like, there are worse things in the world. I mean, I understand not wanting to work out. Trust me, I get it. You should see me. I don't work out, and I quit playing hockey, which really sucks. But anyway, so is the movie going to fail because of him not working out? I think people are going to turn out for this movie for the simple fact to see, just out of sheer morbid curiosity. I think people are going to show up just to be like, the sparkly vampire guy plays the Dark Knight. I don't know. I like some of the direction that they're going. I like some of the casting choice. I think some of it is a little like, yeah, I don't know if I would have went that direction, but I think this movie is going to make money. I think it'll be successful. How successful? I can't really tell you, but I think people will come out to see it again, just out of sheer curiosity. If anything, you know, they're, like I said, they got like Colin Farrell in it. People like Colin Farrell. They're going to come out to watch his portrayal of Penguin. I mean, if it seems like they're packing a lot into this movie. I just hope it's fan service at its best. I don't know. I'm always so hesitant with this stuff. I mean, because you guys know how these things go. They hype us up, make it seem one way, then we get it, and it's a trash fire. So
yeah.
I guess just to sum it up, I don't have to use my whole time, do I?
No, you don't. No.
Okay. Well, just to sum it up, man, I think it'll be successful, but I don't think it'll be as successful as they think it will be. I think there will be people who turn away from this movie because of that, because, he's like, oh, well, if he didn't want to put the time and energy into it, why do I want to go see this movie? You know, if that's how much he cares about his career, if that's how much he wants to, work for this, then is he really going to give us a good acting job? I mean, no. I mean, you have to set a precedence. You are the leading role in this movie, and you have the other actors in this movie who are looking at you. Especially, I'm sure there's probably some new actors that are coming into this. People maybe with their first time major acting roles or something. You got to set a precedence for these people. A lackluster work ethic is just makes for a lackluster movie. And I'll tell you what, man. Now that we got this win with the Schneider cut. Do not put yourself, Robert Pattinson, in a situation for the fans to come after you, because clearly they will, and it works, man. So I think this movie will be successful, not as successful as they think it will be.
Okay. In response to your Schneider cut, I'm really, I've always said I would watch it, but 20 million is all they're putting back towards it. Man, there's a lot of re-editing and stuff that's going to have to go into this. I
think what we're going to see, though, is there's people you look at Jason Momoa with his tweets. You look at I know the support that it has. I think there are people who will sacrifice time and money.
Itself wants this. The cast itself knew that movie was supposedly better, but I don't know. I mean, I'll watch it, and if it's better, then maybe we'll get Ben Affleck back, because I don't know what Ben Affleck said, but if it helps the whole thing up, maybe there'll be a push for Ben Affleck to come back. I don't know. So as far as this one goes, though,
you started the clock.
Yeah, I did.
Is you? Oh, good.
Yeah, I get a time. I get turned.
No, you don't.
Yeah, yes, I do. Stop it. Okay, so my thought process on this, at first I was like, man, if he doesn't do this, then yeah, it's not going to help. But I think you guys both hit on some things that I think is true. People will come to see this. And then if it's good, word will get out. But what I'm thinking is this is supposed to be like Batman year one. Not necessarily that's going to be the story, but this is supposed to be early on. So we're thinking Batman Begins again. If you have a scrawnier Bruce Wayne who's trying to learn the vigilante lifestyle, who's to say that we don't start off with a not so ripped or not muscular Batman, and then during production they work on that for the very sense of what we're going to shoot this many scenes for the beginning of the movie first when he's like this, and then we're going to bring in our guy that's going to put him through 3 weeks of hell and give him all the protein and everything else he needs, and we're going to bulk him up. Now, I don't think Robert Pattinson's ever going to be Ben Affleck ripped or other people ripped. And I agree with Dandelion Fluff. I don't think it's necessary for him to be absolutely jacked or ripped. But as long as because here's the thing. When you said Michael Keaton, Danny, Michael Keaton wasn't ripped. But if you remember the scene like where he's hanging upside down, his body is very well formed. He did do something to make himself look like he had the right muscle to do the things he was doing. And so I think that there's probably a happy medium that when he starts, and I don't necessarily know if Robert Pattinson's, I would assume being in Hollywood and being the physique he is, he's probably not that out of shape. So he's probably got some decent muscle for him to begin with. And they can just bring a guy in for, like I said, 3 weeks of hell. And you stop production for 3 weeks, or you do second cast shooting and other things that he doesn't have to be there for. You get him ripped and he comes back and he's better. And you maybe have him shoot a few scenes showing him getting more beefed up, because is Bruce Wayne a multi-million-dollar playboy going to automatically go out and fight crime and expect he has to be ripped? Well, realistically speaking, probably not. Maybe he's just wanting to go out there to stop crime, and then he realizes, I'm not prepared for this. I need to bulk up. And if that's played into the storyline and if they show that, then I think we're going to be in a much better spot with this. But again, this is all conjecture and, speculation. So, yeah. So let's do 3 minutes on the board and let's continue to talk about this real quick.
I got a couple of points I want to make.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. 3 minutes on the board. We're going to keep talking. And
Batman, prior to him becoming Batman, he has gone out and trained, correct? He's gone all over the world, and I'm just asking.
That's how the comic book goes. It's just a question of how are they going to portray this? Can you portray it differently? And did he? And how much working out did he do? I mean,
it's my understanding. He went out and learned his craft and skills. Then came back.
You're falling into the same plot or the same hole that everybody does when it comes to comic book movies. You're automatically assuming that they're going to follow the comic book. And what if they decide to write something different in that story to show how he became Batman or how he did?
I mean, ultimately, it's a comic book character, so you're going to draw inspiration from that. I mean, I don't think it's crazy to assume that they're going to add some kind of origin. Like when we look at the bat suit, we've got what looks to be those pistol, apparently the pistol that killed Joe Jill used to kill his parents.
Mm-hmm.
So again, there's elements to it, and I think I get what you're saying, Chris, for sure. You can't just assume, but it seems like this one they are taking more elements from the comic book.
All right, so Danny, then in that case, yeah, then if they follow the comic book like Batman Begins kind of does, yeah, he travels the world and he learns different stuff. He learns different fighting styles. He goes around and eventually he meets up with Ra's al Ghul. And
let's just say for this argument that he does do that.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen any overweight, out of shape martial artists in the Legion of that taught him.
See, I don't know if you guys remember a few years ago, they put out, somebody did this fan film. It was Predator or Alien Predator versus Batman, and like Joker was in there.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that they got to play Batman, he was wearing a spandex suit, and it looked like $1 million. It was such a great production. Get that guy. I mean, the way that guy was toned, he wasn't bulk, but he was cut. And it's being a younger Batman. I'm okay with having a smaller Batman to start with. I like the idea, Chris. Yeah. There could be a training montage, or could be some kind of montage, or kind of.
I'm not saying he got to be bulky like the Hulk.
Right.
I'm saying he got to be cut and fit.
Yeah,
right.
Even Michael Keaton was cut and fit.
But if Pastor don't work out, he ain't gonna be cut and fit.
But again, if we're expecting him before he goes on his training montage or around the world, he could look thin. And right now, because of the way that things are in Hollywood, that nobody's shooting or anything, maybe he can't work out right now because he's been told the first part of this movie, you're going to look like you do now. And we'll get to bulking you up as the movie goes along. Maybe. That's what I'm trying to say is if it plays into the movie why he may not be doing this, I don't think that immediately causes a failure. We just don't know what the behind the scenes is on it right now. And with so much in the world being messed up because of shooting schedules and stuff that were supposed to happen. I mean, this is supposed to start shooting, and I think actually they may have shown up to shoot for like a week before this, before the COVID-19 stuff started happening.
Okay, so based on what you're saying, let me understand. See if I get it. So they're gonna film, let's say, 2 weeks of him looking human.
Well, however he is.
Then they're gonna however he is. Then they're gonna stop and let him work out for. They're gonna take him 2 or 3 months to get a certain size.
No. They can get this going within a few weeks. And again, if you start bulking them up, let's say, okay, we're going to take a week off. We're going to up your calorie content. We're going to get you in the gym. You're going to work 6 hours a day in the gym with this guy that's going to run you through the ringer. And depending on how method actor he is, and from what I've read, he has a tendency to be a method actor. These guys get serious about this stuff really quick, really easy. You give him a week or so, he starts bulking up a little bit. You shoot some more scenes showing him working out, and getting bulked up a little bit more. Take a week, bulk him up some more, shoot some more scenes. He's a little bit more cut and stuff. Again, you work it into that schedule, and perhaps, and again, speculation, conjecture. I don't know if that's what's going to happen. When we don't even know, maybe he is working out, and like you said, it's trolling. Maybe,
Okay.
If I were a sightseer and I could see the future, I wouldn't be doing YouTube. Actually, yes, I would. I'd be doing it on YouTube. Last but not least, the last question of the day. After seeing Justice League Dark, does it give you a new respect on just how important and valuable Batman is to DC? Ords, have you seen Justice League Dark yet?
Yeah, and I just watched Apocalypse War.
Okay. So I don't have much to say about this because I have not yet seen it, but I will let you guys talk about it, and I will throw in questions or whatever I can in there. So I will start your time. Ords, go ahead and you can start first. Your time starts now.
I see. Here's the thing. I don't really remember I own the movie. I don't really remember Batman playing a huge role in it. Like, obviously, he was a huge part of it, but not like. To me, I was more excited to see Constantine.
Are you, Danny? Are you talking about Justice League Dark Apocalypse or the Apocalypse War?
The last one, Apocalypse War.
Yeah, the new one.
You're talking about the new one?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just watched that. Okay, if you're talking about Apocalypse War, well, hell yeah. I like the first one too. But it was great in that first one to see. Gosh, I just said his name. What the hell?
Constantine.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was great to see Constantine. And this one I feel was it was quite a bit different. This one was a little more colorful. This one's a little more interesting in the fact that, like, Batman, yeah, I mean, he is the brains. He's the brains of the Justice League. If you think about it, like, people are like, "Oh, Batman, he's just rich." No. Batman does have a superpower, and that's his brain.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Batman is able to think ahead. There's a reason why he knows. He calculates. He's very thought out. He does have superpowers, believe it or not. For those of you who didn't know, and Apocalypse saw this. There's a reason why he chose Batman to be his right-hand man in this movie. Was because Batman was the brains. You've got the brawn in Apocalypse, then you've got the tactician brains in Batman. He knew this. And Apocalypse isn't stupid. Clearly, you keep Batman under wraps. And he is the central point. Even, Superman, even being like, we'll consider him the most powerful super being of all time. Okay, whatever. The central point that the Justice League rallies around is Batman. Batman calls everybody to, hey, Superman, we need you, or Wonder Woman, we need you. He is the driving force behind the Justice League. So when you take that out, when you take your central point, I mean, how do you destroy an army? By taking out its leader, right?
Yep.
So Apocalypse knew this. You take the leader out of it, and that's why the Justice League fails, is because Superman, not in this movie, not being a tactician, says, we got to strike them before they strike us. Well, Apocalypse isn't that stupid. Okay? Apocalypse isn't just going to let you come in and take over. No. He knew exactly what was going to happen the whole bit, and Superman flew him into a whole shitstorm of craziness, and what resulted. And they did throw a little. It felt like I don't know if you guys have read Future's End, New 52 DC stuff. Probably the best run that New 52 had, but where you have like cyborg / superhero type things. Anyway, it does make a a striking point as to how important Batman is in the Justice League.
Okay. All right, Danny, 3 minutes on the board. Go ahead.
I agree 1,000% with everything that Ords just said. Batman is leaps and bounds ahead of anybody when it comes to tactics and intelligence. Even in this movie, he was able to plan something in the case that if they didn't work out, he had something in place.
Right, that was so sick, Danny.
And you don't know it until the end. You're like, how the hell did he think of this? So I put it in the relation of a chess player. Some of the best chess players in the world can play multiple games and think 3 or 4 steps ahead. Batman can play multiple games and think 10 or 12 steps ahead. He is just that freaking awesome. And this movie, all of the Justice League was altered in some kind of way.
Yep.
Either physically, he added parts, they disassembled Cyborg, but Batman Darkseid left intact. All he did was enough just to bend his will to follow his orders, but he didn't do anything to Batman. Batman sat in what they call his Mobius chair, and he controlled everything. He was like the liaison between Darkseid and everybody else. And as smart as we like to think Lex Luthor is, Lex Luthor had to answer to Batman.
That was interesting, dude.
Mm-hmm. So Batman is a beast. People say, like Ords say, that he doesn't have a superpower. His superpower is his brain.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why when all these Superman lovers, you can be Superman lovers, I'm going to always go back to Batman was a mosquito's wing beat, a wing flap from killing Superman in Superman versus Batman. I didn't make the rules. I didn't write that. It's just what it is. So as powerful as he is, he can be outsmarted. And Darkseid realized that. Darkseid used that. He was 10 steps ahead of Superman because Superman, like Ords was saying, was trying to, we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to do this. Not even knowing that somehow Apocalypse had tapped into Cyborg and was hearing and seeing everything that they were saying. So I don't know if Batman knew that or not, but I think he figured it out. But like I said, he had a contingency plan that if they go there and fail, he has something to get them out. And that's what ultimately saved their ass. So that Batman to me is very important in the Justice League, in the DC universe. And I think he is the most important character to date in that franchise.
Okay. 3 minutes. You guys can discuss this. First thing, is there any question on how important Batman is to the whole thing?
The Superman fanboys will argue with you, but
yeah.
Well, Superman I've always viewed as a person who, in dire need of an end point, Superman can normally provide that end point, but Superman probably doesn't analyze things in a way that like Batman does, because again, we've seen this time and time again in the Justice League movies and other movies where Batman, I mean, come on, Batman figured out how to basically bring to their knees all of the Justice League. He had a file on that, so he knows ahead of time that if shit hits the fan, I gotta know how to do this. So again, it shows he's a chess master. Basically, he thinks ahead 3, 4, like you said, or 3, 4, 3, 4 turns ahead, and says, if this happens, I know I got to do this. But if it doesn't happen and this happens, I got to do that. So he's already thinking ahead of things. But what you think, guys? You do think people don't see that? Is that what you're thinking? That so many
just like Ords said, these Superman fanboys is thinking that Superman can go to heaven and slap God and go to hell and piss on the devil. I mean, that's what they believe. Oh, Superman can do this. It boggles my mind.
I mean, like to use Future's End, the comic book run, as another example. This is how Bruce Wayne processes things. The whole idea behind Future's End was that Brother Eye had gone awry and created its own. It basically developed sentient intelligence and basically took over all the superheroes. The last 2 superheroes are Terry, Batman Beyond, and old Bruce Wayne. Basically, Bruce Wayne creates a device to send Terry back in time to stop Brother Eye from ever happening. So he's that just to give you an idea, like not only is he thinking in the future, but he's fixing the past too. That's how his mind works. His mind lives in the future, present, and past. And you with a man with a brain like that, I mean, the interesting part about this movie, though, Danny, was Superman's powers being taken away. The interesting way, yeah, and a growth as a character, because as Superman, like he's kind of, he's kind of full of himself. He's, it's a little easy for him, and I feel like he lets that, especially his hubris in this movie. We're just going to attack. This is how we're going to hit him first, and the fall from grace, then to learn from his mistakes. And
then also, when he got his powers back, he couldn't handle Darkseid that well either. It took Triton to handle Darkseid. So
yep.
I don't know.
Well, okay, guys, that's our 3 topics today. I need to see this movie. I know that much. I get this feeling that there's a lot of interesting plot twists in this, and the direction it goes. So
be like, oh shit, they did this.
Yeah.
It's okay. So if you've seen Scorpion's Revenge, that is brutal as hell. That is beyond brutal. That's like more brutal than the original Spawn animated stuff. This is not quite as brutal as that, but you're gonna be like, what the hell, dude? Like, did that really just happen? Like, what the hell? And then it ends in this moment where it's, Danny, you know what I'm talking about, where they just look at each other and he's like, oh shit, I really do I gotta do this. And then the moment happens.
That's why I hope they will pick off from that spot when they do their next one.
I do too.
These movies have always, the DC animated stuff has always been like on point. Even if they're not great, there's some
redeeming quality behind it.
I mean, I've yet to see something that you could say is just not, is complete trash yet. So I'm very interested to see that. Okay, guys. With that said, we have come to our time on today's stream, and I appreciate again very much, Ords, you showing up today.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
Gracing us with your presence. Again, I love streaming with you. It's always great to have you when you're available. Why don't you tell everybody about yourself one last time?
I am Ords Bored over at youtube.com/Ords Bored. You guys can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter under the same handle. If you guys like Vikings, if you guys like board games, come check out my work at Omni Lucid Media Games. A couple of buddies of mine are developing some really awesome Viking board games, tactics style, and others. Anyway, guys, you can also find me at the Drunk at 3PO channel from time to time, where I do pop culture commentary. So come check me out, guys. I'm bored and would love your company.
Woo. All right. Yeah, guys, go check out Ords. Great content. Like I say, sometimes I have to pilfer ideas from him.
Stop it.
It's true, though. It's true. It's just totally true.
Okay. I love it.
And then down below me, always here, Danny Graham of Comic Chat. Go ahead, Danny. Tell everybody about yourself and where they can be found. Or where you
Danny, on YouTube, you can find me on Comic Chat, my channel. On Twitter, you can find me at Comic Chats with an S. Usually here every Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, along with Chris and Shaun. You can also catch me tomorrow night, Monday night, on my show, which will be the Chaotic Conversation. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have talking about 3 different must-see who would win matches. I'm coming up. Well, I did 2. I'm come up with the 3rd one. And also later this afternoon at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch me, Jason Miller, Terrence, and our special guest, Ball Bad Man. Will I'm saying that correctly? Ball Man Bad. Ball Man Bad.
Just call him John.
John, at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my other show, Equilibrium. The topic for tonight will be discussing some aspect he saw about Black Panther. So it should be very interesting. So if you're not doing anything tonight, please join us at 6. It'll be a stimulating conversation, I do believe.
Yes, and after tonight on Equilibrium, you can probably call John Shredded Wheat. So, no.
I'm not going to say that.
I know. Everybody has their opinions on things, and it's very good to have them.
It is going to be very civil and cordial.
Oh yeah, no, I know it will be. It's just I'm afraid that he doesn't understand what he's coming up against when it comes to parents.
So I tell him I just have to sit myself and listen.
Hey, look, I'm telling you this right now. I'm probably gonna tune into that shit, man. I gotta see this go down. This is gonna be fun.
I plan on it too. Okay, my name is Chris Knight, and you're watching this on the Real Review 3000, possibly over on Chaos Central's YouTube channel. We're needing to get up to 100 subs to get our vanity link for Chaos Central. We're currently at like 45. If you're watching this and you are not subbed to that, please do sub. I'm going to put in the chat here if I can find it right there. Yeah. I'm going to put in the chat the link to Chaos Central's YouTube page, which we are currently simulcasting on. And if you guys could do, oh, never mind. Tommy got it. Of course, Tommy got it. Why do I?
There you go.
Yeah. But that is how you can find us over there. And as soon as we get to 100 subscribers, we're going to start doing these live streams over there exclusively. So if you guys can help us get to that, and until then, though, guys, go over there, subscribe. Most, if not all, of these streams are over there. I have to pull some more and put them up, but you can also check out the three of us on our channels and the stuff we do, and we would greatly appreciate it. With that said, guys, why don't you guys help me say goodbye to everybody?
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.